Hello, YouTube viewers. This is a demonstration of my first open source application, Serial to CSV. If you know about the project that I've been working on, the idea is basically you're going to have a microcontroller. It's going to compile all the data from the sensor, whichever sensor you need to, and create a data log out of it. So it needed a Windows side application that will allow you to use it as a benchtop data logger. So we built this application. Now I have a two monitor setup, that's why I'm dragging it. It will supposed to happen in your center of the screen. It happens in my case. So COM port is basically how you're gonna communicate with your basically microcontroller, and baud rate is basically how it's gonna the sync rate basically between those two puppy. Now let's say you use even higher baud rate than this or some custom baud rate for some reason, you can directly type into it here if you need to. You do not have to worry about any like it has to be this. You can type it, and again, if you are doing some other system where you are using Bluetooth or anything like that, you can type in those address also basically dev slash our basically Linux team use that a lot rather than COM port. Now, let's say in our case, COM port is here. So you have COM port, you have baud rate, that's it. We did not want it to load the software. This is the bare minimum. This is all we needed to have in order to get started. The monitoring process, the moment you start monitoring, it will show you the basically file and buffer. So this is the output file, CSV file, as you can see. So this is the difference between this application and putty application is putty does not create this puppy. You're not gonna get a date and timestamp. So if you are doing a multi day session, let's say, you can directly keep running this and you can still organize them based on oh, I think I've moved it. And this side will be basically the data that is coming for your microcontroller. In this example, I have four voltage sensors and elapsed time. How you do elapsed time, that's up to you. You may have it, may not have, but that's up to you. That's the whole point. I'm building an ecosystem rather than a specific tool. It's an ecosystem. Now you have the benefit of data logging for long term. Let's say you want to do outdoor testing and all that. Again, I'll make more things also. This is just a start. No, I don't say. So this is the exe part of it. So in terms of setting, you have some options. Now be mindful, for some reason there is this issue that if you click the browser, it will open the system, but it won't be clickable. Oh, this time it's clicking. Basically, you may have an issue where it will not click. You just click something else, click back to it. Basically, window does not come into focus for some reason. A weird issue, but it is there. It should work, but it's just a minor inconvenience. So you have that. That's the folder location. If you do not do anything to it, basically wherever you have exe, because it's almost running like a portable, it should just directly basically work without and use this folder itself as a root folder wherever you have this .exe. So you may not even need to arrange location. What about file name templates? We have three templates: default, which I prefer. You use this. Optional suffix is optional, meaning let's say you are working on LEDs, you type LED. You're working on battery bank, you type battery bank. But if you do not tamper with that, if you like just forget it or get bored of it, it will still have proper date and time. That's the whole point of it. And then we have user input. Use it at your own risk, because the moment you do that, it becomes enter file name. If you do not do it, it just saves .csv. It does not have a name. But let's say you typed a name here. Uh, you started monitoring. Now here's deal. The sole reason I did not wanted this as a primary option is that the moment you stop it and you're like, hey, I'm gonna start again, it just started to append the data to this one itself. It's not creating a new file. So that reason I seriously advise to have this puppy running all the time. Even the date one has the issue that if you're doing multiple times a day, it will create an overwrite issue. So for that reason, I always have this puppy. Now, browser is solved, name is solved. What about this buffer? Now, buffer you can see here is that you have row count and then you have buffer flush. Now, you have to understand any good applications are not supposed to read and write constantly. It will wear down even if you have SSD, and it will cause some issue. And you want to save data, you want to compile the data into a buffer, then dump it periodically. Now, this period we allow you to control. So, for example, 10 for testing purpose was good. I would advise 50, but let's say you are running a microcontroller code that's running very fast, let's say 100 hertz. At that point, I would say use at least 1000 or 2000, and you can easily calculate based on the hertz and buffer size how often it's gonna open and close the file. And benefit of opening and closing is that in case of a blue screen of death or some crash, your file will most likely will be useful. But if it was like just open and keep writing it, file becomes vulnerable. Any crash, any fail, poof. So you can have the buffer size, and if you have buffer size low enough, you can basically open the application in your system and directly create a graph using the data from here itself. It will be just lagged based on the buffer, but you can do that if you so need to. You can even feed the data to Grafana if you figure out a way. Now, once you close everything, save setting and exit, it will also create another Johnson file, basically. Log file, log file, yeah, log file has the benefit that you can see what happened when it happened. This is also, just ease of use system. It will help your life easier. And if you know settings and you need to deploy this into multiple system, let's say in a case of a lab or a school or something like that, you can directly edit the log file if you need to. You can see COM ports, baud rate, everything. You can tamper with it directly here. If you have a network location, you can directly even feed the network location if you so desire. So you basically these three file would survive, and you will have your CSV file. You can change the location if you need to, and basically if you click the help file, there would be an image file that will help you to re-study all these things. So when you are running the system, just to make sure that you are like, is the software frozen or something like that, just keep pay attention to row count and buffer flush. That will help you to know like, hey, is it working, is it continuous or not? So it's a very simple application designed as a minimum viable product. And now I'm gonna move forward with microcontroller side of things. And once that's done, then hopefully I'm gonna have some projects to actually show why I'm going through all this hassle, and then people will understand the significance of this project. Now, thankfully, a lot of amazing people have helped me. You can check that out in the GitHub repository. I have put their name and what they were doing. Again, everybody was pulling multiple hat, but it was a very amazing experience. Good community output. I'm very happy with that. So this was a good start. Let's see how far we can go from here. Bye.